You wake up. Something's in the room with you. You can't move. You can't scream. And somewhere, somebody in your family already has a word for what's sitting on your chest.
Every single culture on this planet has been having this exact argument for thousands of years. Not, does this happen? What is it?
Today we're talking about sleep paralysis. And I'm not doing this one from a textbook. I'm doing this one from my father's side of the family. Okay, Luma, strip the folklore out for 1 second. What is medically happening to a person's body?
During REM sleep, your brain deliberately paralyzes your skeletal muscles. It's called REM atonia. It exists so you don't physically act out your dream.
So my body's got a safety lock on it every night.
Correct. The disruption happens when consciousness returns before that lock releases. You wake up cognitively, but your body is still under the paralysis command.
And the hallucinations.
Hypnopompic hallucinations, imagery, sound, or a sensed presence that occurs as you're transitioning out of REM sleep. A pressing sensation on the chest is one of the most commonly reported symptoms worldwide.
So the somebody sitting on me thing?
Extremely common. Reported across cultures with no shared point of contact, which is, itself, interesting.
My father's side is Igbo, and when I went looking for what our tradition calls this, there isn't one clean little name for it, not like some other cultures have. What there is amụsu, witchcraft.
Talk to me about that.
It's less, here's the demon's name, and more a whole worldview. Something happens to you in the night that has no visible cause. You don't ask what caused this. You ask, whose doing is this? The unexplained gets a face put on it, and usually that face is a person, not a monster.
My grandmother would have had something to say about that too. Every family's got somebody who knew exactly what a bad night meant before anybody called the doctor.
That's the thing that gets lost when people flatten African folklore into one big vague thing. Amụsu isn't the same as what they believe 2 countries over. It's specific to where you're from. So, let's actually go region by region, because none of these are interchangeable. West of my father's people, the Yoruba have their own name for it, ogun oru, nocturnal warfare, a specific named framework for an attack that happens to you at night.
Different neighborhood, different word, same 3 a.m. terror.
The consistency of the symptom across incompatible belief systems is, from a research standpoint, the most interesting part of this entire topic.
Further south, South Africa, some communities call it a Segatalelo assault, and the being blamed for it is the Tokoloshe, a small malevolent spirit figure tied to black magic.
Every region really said, not on my watch. I'm naming this thing myself.
East Africa, Ethiopia. The word is dukak, an evil spirit believed to possess a person during sleep. And this one's got a layer nobody expects. Dukak, outside that context, is also the Amharic word for depression.
That detail is worth sitting with. A single word doing double duty for a spiritual entity in a mental health state isn't primitive thinking. It's a culture that understood, long before clinical language existed, that the 2 experiences share territory.
And across the diaspora, Haiti, the wider Caribbean, African American communities in the South, the language is ritten. Somebody rode you last night. A spirit, an enemy, sitting on you, holding you down.
That one's still alive. People say that phrase today and everybody in the room knows exactly what they mean.
I want to tell you something real. Not a script beat. This actually happened to me. Within a 2-month window, I had 2 separate episodes. One night, I woke up to a woman's voice, loud, coming from the living room. I got up. Nobody was there.
And the other night?
Different night. Entirely different sensation. I woke up feeling smothered, pinned down, fighting so hard to move that I finally broke free hard enough to shoot straight up into a sitting position, gasping for air.
That's not a small thing to go through twice in 2 months.
I did exactly what you're supposed to do. Got checked for sleep apnea afterward in case there was a physical cause. It came back negative. Just snoring.
Medically, that negative result is reassuring, not dismissive. Everything you described, the auditory hallucination, the chest pressure, the struggle to move, the sudden release, is consistent with a textbook sleep paralysis presentation.
The mechanism remains unclear.
Actually, no asterisk on this one. The mechanism is understood. What I can't explain is why it so often takes the shape of a person, why it's a voice and not just noise, why it's a presence and not just pressure.
That's the part my grandmother already had an answer for.
I would not call it an answer. I would call it a different kind of information.
Careful. That almost sounded like you agreeing with me.
I am agreeing that both things can be documented. I am not agreeing that we call it a witch.
Can we not turn this into a whole debate? People came here for the scary voice story, not a logic seminar.
This is the logic seminar, Milo.
And that's why I'm here. To remind everybody we're still allowed to have fun while we're being haunted.
So, somebody's writing you, or your brainstem released the lock a little early. Both of those can be true in the same story.
Ancestors 1. Neuroscience. Still catching up.
That is not a competition.
It's always a competition with her.
If this has ever happened to you, tell us where you're from and what your family calls it. We want to build the full map.
Comment it. We're reading every single one.
See you next time.